mental health is about everyone. It's not just a tick box. It's about good mental health. How do we create environments where people can thrive and excel and feel good? Because work gets better when people are feeling that way.
Having been raised in a religious cult, how has this experience shaped you into the person you are today?
It shaped me in lots of ways, some of which I didn't really realize until more recently. So one of them was because I grew up in communes and I grew up globally, I kind of have edge when I consult with global businesses because I really get the cultural components, the inclusion, the difference that might be going on in the group. It's also made me more resilient. I think my ability to kind of hustle, create change, be resourceful, all of the above, really come from an environment that wasn't the traditional type of environment.
Since escaping from the cult, how has your outlook on life changed?
In so many ways. And I was reflecting on this thinking, well, I'm not religious anymore. That might be one of them, but actually it's more nuanced than that. It's that I don't look for one truth in one place, right? And I find that there's different pieces of truth and different levels of expertise and bits of wisdom. And I can apply small bits to my life rather than thinking about a one size fits all. It must be one way. The other thing is just around taking personal responsibility for my own mental health and for my own approach to life. That's another huge way. And I just kind of understand that hard work pays off, that actually, if you put your mind to something, you work on your mindset, you develop yourself, that you can do pretty much anything.
And was there a particular turning point in your experience in the religious cult where you thought, I don't want my life to pan out like this?
I think it was really gradual. So people often look for the big kind of lightning bolt epiphany of, from one thing to another. But actually, I think the reality is often the seed of doubt and questioning people's behavior versus what was being believed or spoken about as truth. I did have some rock bottom moments, though. And so after I'd left, that was actually when all the trauma and all the big kind of things needed to be worked through. When I was in it, I felt very safe in a way because I was more controlled in my thinking. But when it opened up that the whole world kind of was like, ooh, where do I stand? Where do I go with this? And so certainly my thought process had to change. And it was those rock bottom moments that then made me think, how do I do this? And I do talk about how I gave myself a 1-year deadline to take my own life. And that was very much thinking, I've got nothing left to lose. I've convinced myself that my own kids would be better off without me. But in that 1 year, and this isn't advice because I don't know why it was a year and not a different sort of space of time, but I just determined to experiment with all the things that people said help your mental health and can help you feel happy. And that year came and went, and it wasn't perfect afterwards, but I realized that I could actually teach myself to be happy and that there were tools out there that could help me lead a better life.
What is your top 3 tips for businesses wanting to improve how they support their employees' mental health?
So there's so many ways. And first of all, many companies do this in more of a tick box way still. So they're kind of like, hey, we've got mental health first aiders, or we've got this kind of one thing on World Mental Health Day, right? But it's got to go deeper than that. So 3 tips. First of all, mental health is about everyone. It's not just a tick box. It's about good mental health. How do we create environments where people can thrive and excel and feel good? Because work gets better when people are feeling that way. Number 2, have a strategy. And what I mean by that is it doesn't have to be complicated, but it's having a vision of where you're trying to get to. So what is your mission statement for mental health within your business, and how does it connect to different parts of your business? And finally, number 3, embed mental health into the whole kind of section of the workplace. So again, rather than doing it on the outside, it's really about how do we connect with people as humans? What are the questions that we ask people? How are we brave and vulnerable? And how do we show up in our team meetings, in our one-to-ones? So it's part of our everyday rather than this thing on top of what we do.
Do you believe one day we will eradicate the mental health stigma, and why?
Now, I love this question because I would love to believe that that's the world that we're going to get to. But if I'm honest, it's a long way off. If we think about the strides that we've made in kind of homophobia, racism, sexism, we've made massive strides, but yet we still have a long way to go. So I feel the same with mental health, is that already there's been great strides. I certainly see in the new world of work that there will be much bigger strides, because people are, if you want talent to stay in your business, they're asking about, what are you doing to look after your people? So there's certainly a piece there that's going to change. And yet I feel like, because of old school thinking, because of fear of opening up, we still definitely have a long way to go.